My name is John Ross. I've lived in this part of the southwest of Scotland all my life, but for 9 years I was also very fortunate to be a commissioner with the Northern Lighthouse Board, and today, as part of a project that we're involved in, we're in the village, the very attractive village of Port Logan, but more importantly I have with me Dr. Barry Miller, who, following a successful career as a science teacher and researcher, took on the post of the retained lighthouse keeper, who's responsible, which means that he's responsible for keeping an eye on the lighthouses in southwest Scotland. But we're here in Port Logan. Barry has some really interesting information to give us about what we're looking at here, which it's not exactly a lighthouse, but it was an aid to navigation that was built many years ago. Barry.
That's right, thanks John. Yes, as you say, we're in the village of Port Logan, and behind us it's actually a bell tower. It's on the end of the harbour here at Port Logan. The harbour was improved in 1812 by the local landowner. I think he saw there being a future in the Irish trade. Portpatrick was the main Irish port then, later on Stranraer, but at that stage in the early part of the 19th century he thought there was an opening in Port Logan. It turned out that his venture was somewhat unsuccessful. He employed the civil engineer Thomas Telford, of a great renown, to design the harbour. He put an embankment along the front of the village as part of the roadworks. Thomas Telford was mainly known for work on canals, bridges and roads, and to some extent railways. As I say, he was born in Mull of Galloway, and this would have been a relatively small project for him compared with the Menai Strait Bridge or the Caledonian Canal or the like. However, it's a lovely little harbour. The tower is actually a bell tower.
Right.
And the idea would have been to have a bell to have guided people round the harbour entrance in days of fog.
One has to question the effectiveness of a bell, but of course there was a well-known bell where they then eventually built a lighthouse.
That's right. Well, Bell Rock is called after a bell that used to be on a buoy. There were a huge number of tragedies on that particular site, and after the Bell Rock lighthouse was built, it predates this in actual fact. I think it was 1805. No more ships ever crashed into the Bell Rock. So the bell, I don't think, actually did the trick. No. And of course sound signals were used as navigational aids, and the three other lighthouses in this area, well, three of the four lighthouses in this area, Mull of Galloway, Killintrigan and Coswell, were all equipped with effective foghorns.
Whilst this was never a terribly successful business venture.
So I understand. I might be wrong, but I don't think it was.
I think I can agree with that.
Yes.
But what's interesting is that in times past this was a lifeboat station.
That's right.
And
yes.
I think it's perhaps in the days before inflatables and Land Rovers.
Yes, yes.
The lifeboat could be, if there was a problem in Loose Bay, which is over here.
Yeah. The hall's actually the old
the hall was the old
lifeboat station.
Lighthouse station. But they could take the lifeboat behind, well, I think a horse originally and latterly a tractor, and take it overland, so that if there was an emergency in Loose Bay, that was how they could get the lifeboat to the rescue, because taking it round the base of the Mull of Galloway would have been treacherous.
Not
and
an
very
attractive
time-consuming.
prospect, no.
It's a long time since the lifeboat was here, but it's an interesting piece of history that they had one here.
Indeed.
And of course this must have been quite a busy fishing village, because the crews of lifeboats had to be men who were capable of taking the boat out.
Yes.
I think the other interesting piece is that the local authorities some years ago made a very good decision in that they brought lots of rock down from a local quarry and put it along the outside of this very attractive, what was the old pier, because very heavy seas here in the winter, and there was a real risk that this whole walkway might have disappeared, and it's a very popular place for visitors in the summer. And then Barry, you were involved here in a filming.
Oh, that's right, John. Yes. In 2007, the Gerard Butler film, The Vanishing, the opening shots were done on Port Logan Harbour, where they went out to the Flannan Islands.
Yes.
Obviously, they didn't go to the Flannan Islands, and it was only very, very loosely based on the disappearance of the 3 lighthouse keepers.
And am I right in thinking that you were the harbour master?
I was an extra as a harbour master. So I was on this harbour smoking a pipe. We were down here for 2 days filming, and the lighthouses that were used in the film were actually Mull of Galloway, Killintrigan and Coswell.
That's
so
right.
Nothing really to do with the Flannan Islands.
And the other event, the filming event, was some time before that, when BBC Scotland produced a programme called 2,000 Acres of Sky.
I remember that, John.
And
yes.
you know, this land that we're looking at here, that was depicted as the island.
Yes, this was the village, wasn't it?
This was the village, and that was the island.
Yes.
And Portpatrick was the mainland.
Right.
And that was a very popular.
Yes, indeed.
Very popular.
Michelle Collins was in it.
That's right. Yeah, it was a very popular programme, and it certainly brought the village of Port Logan into the public knowledge.
So it's been in quite a few media events then.